Hey, what's up, guys? It's Larry, the mortgage guy, your mortgage insider, and certified veteran mortgage advisor, as you can see, right? And I want to thank you for being here. Now, I'm actually going to go over VA loan basics, but I added a new part to my class where I talk about why you should use a certified veteran mortgage. I'm sorry, yes, a certified veteran mortgage advisor, right? So I'm kind of practicing, right? And I don't know if you follow me, but if you do, you know that most of my stream yards and my stream lives and classes and YouTubes are designed just to create content. I just happen to have an audience, which of course I invite you guys to be a part of. I do it through Zoom and I do it through streaming, right? So really, you guys are watching me sort of create content. And I want to make sure my sound works because a lot of times when I do this, the sound does not work. So I don't know where my phone's at. I think my kid stole it, but I have my tablet here just to make sure I can do a sound check. Zoom, and I do it through stream. Right. So it looks like it's working. So I'm assuming that we're good, and I'm also assuming that if my sound doesn't work, just let me know. Right. So again, this is Larry, the mortgage guy, your mortgage insider, certified mortgage advisor. And I'm going to talk about VA loan basics, but I also added a new part of my class, like I said, certified, like why work with a certified veteran mortgage advisor, which is going to be part of this class. So this is literally just practice, okay? But hopefully you do get something out of this. So let me go ahead and get my presentation started. Where is it at? Try this again. There it is. Okay, cool. I'm not really good with PowerPoint or Google Slides or whatever, but I'll learn. All right, welcome to the Home Buyer Secrets. I need to fix that right there. Look at that typo. Hi, welcome to Home Buyer Secrets. And while we wait for everyone to arrive, what questions do you have? Please type it in the chat and I will make sure I address it. All right, serving those who served and sacrificed. My name is Larry Lee, and my email is larry@opendoors.com, and my cell number is 832-606-2193. Feel free to reach out to me for any reason. Also, wait until the very end of my class, and I'll tell you how you can save $500 off your closing costs when you buy your home. Our mission, to fulfill President Lincoln's promise to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan by serving and honoring the men and women who are America's veterans. And today we're going to talk about VA loan basics, which is 100% mortgage financing from the United States vets for United States vets from the VA. So this is where I actually switch screens up. Actually, do that. All right, so I have a question for you guys. Does anyone here currently work with veterans? You can always unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand. You can comment, whatever. Oh, yes. Hey, Nikki, thank you very much. Okay, great. So thank you for volunteering. Someone says they can't hear me, which I just it's scratchy. Which, let me see if I can fix this. Sorry for the delay. Someone said they can hear me, so I'm checking to make sure. sure I do everything right here. I thought I double checked it with my settings here. Check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2. Okay, I think I fixed it. Appreciate it, Facebook user. And because of that, I'm going to start over. Sorry, Megan. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this part before, so you can always like walk away if you want to. But I'm going to start from the beginning since my sound wasn't working. And I want to have a good recording, right? Okay, cool. So, hey, what's up, guys? It's Larry, the mortgage guy, your mortgage insider and certified veteran mortgage advisor, as you can see. And today we're going to talk about why you should work with a certified veteran mortgage advisor like myself, but also am going to talk about VA loan basics. Now, what I did was I actually just added a part to my VA loan basics class. So I'm kind of practicing this. And if you guys follow me, you know a lot of my content that I create live, meaning in front of an audience. So that's what you're part of. So it's like a dress rehearsal. So I appreciate you guys being here. And if you have any feedback or any question, whatever, feel free to ask. Obviously, I do create these live so I can answer questions as well. So appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully you can hear my sound because I just started for like maybe 10 minutes or 5. It says 7 minutes and my sound wasn't working. So hopefully it works today or works now, right? But let's go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to the Home Buyer Secrets. And while we wait for everyone to arrive, what questions do you have? You can type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself, whatever, right? And then, of course, I'll make sure to address it sometime during the class, okay? All right. Serving those who served and sacrificed. Again, my name is Larry Lee, Open Mortgage, and 832-606-2193 is my cell number. You can call or text me anytime and reach out for any reason, okay? Also, if you wait until the very end of my class, I will tell you how you can save $500 off your closing costs when you buy a home, okay? Our mission, to fulfill President Lincoln's promise to care for him who shall have borne the battle for his widow, his orphan, by serving and honoring the men and women who are America's veterans. And again, today we're going to cover VA home loan basics. It's 100% mortgage financing for the United States vets from the VA. Okay. But before we get started, I have a question for you. Does anyone here currently work with veterans? You can just raise your hand or unmute yourself. And while we're waiting for that, does anyone here want to work with veterans? Maybe that's a better question. Okay. Thank you, Ming. Appreciate it. Well, could we all say that it's fair that veterans deserve the best possible real estate experience based on the sacrifice they made for our country, and we owe it to them to give them that? Does anybody agree with that statement? I should say, does everyone? Thank you, Ming. I appreciate that. All right. Thank you for attending AV. Thank you for your comment. Okay, get ready. What we're going to be doing today is I'm going to teach everyone in this class how to provide the best possible lending, buying, and selling experience that we can offer our people who are so deserving of this benefit. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you those techniques that I've tried, I've proven, and have been trained on, and have learned through the years of experience in serving veterans at the highest possible level. So get comfortable and get your notepads out, and we're going to dive right in, and we're not going to leave anyone behind. So do me a favor, if you do have a question, please feel free to interrupt me because I want to make sure everyone leaves here with a deep understanding of what we're committed to do. Again, quick bio. I am a certified veteran mortgage advisor at the Larry Lee team at Open Mortgage. I'm licensed since 2016. The kind of a funny joke. My wife and I were talking to a couple of people, and they were asking how long she'd been in the business. I said a couple of years, and and she was like, "It's been like 5 years." I was like, "Holy crap, that uh, that's kind of crazy," because I felt like it's been not that long, but 5 years. So that means I've been in business for 6 years because I was one who brought her into the business. I have a side hustle as a social media marketing coach and run my own ad agency, Robots LLC. The reason I talk about that is because I'm marrying the two concepts. I'm trying to use my social media resources and efforts and energy to bring awareness to the VA loan. I'm licensed in 10 different states: Arizona, California, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. And my branches, the branch I work with, is licensed in 30 different states. I'm not going to go over those because there's a lot, right? MLS number is 1440741. All right, my mission is I love the mortgage business, but I was fed up with the lack of education and information clients were provided during their application process. So I created a first-time homebuyer coaching class for mortgage clients that provides instant access to answers to help questions and simple explanations to the mortgage process and how to qualify. I also provide one-on-one coaching for those who want it. Basically, I want to create like a Netflix or on-demand information about buying a house without any kind of commitment, meaning you don't need to talk to an actual person, right? I'm trying to create that type of resource. Now, of course, if you want one-on-one coaching, you have to engage with me because I have to interact with you and ask questions and know about you a little bit. Okay, so you can't ghost me if you want one-on-one coaching. Unlike other loan officers, I mean, my passion to coach first-time home buyers on the mortgage process, and that makes all the difference of how I've helped hundreds of people get on the right path to home ownership, with many of them becoming homeowners. You remind me of many of my smart, successful, and savvy clients who are not homeowners because you are taking the right step on the home purchasing process by educating yourself and being prepared like they did. The home buying process is very confusing to most people, but that is why I am here to simplify the process and make sure you are 100% prepared in the home buying process and to become ahead of the competition in this insane market. Like we provide a fully underwritten TBD or to be determined pre-approval process where we actually will underwrite you to the fullest extent without a property. That way, when you do make offers, you can show that you were fully underwritten and basically conditionally approved, just conditioning on the property and the appraisal, which means you can close faster and basically with peace of mind, right? Which will offer them peace of mind. Also, I'm offering $500 off towards closing costs for buyers. Again, if you wait to the end of the class, I'll explain to you how. Okay. Again, I'm a certified veteran mortgage advisor. I'm very proud of it. It's one of the few things I actually take seriously, and this is like one of the only times I show off my certificate. My why, my wife and my kids, specifically Hunter and Bruce, because they're both on the spectrum for autism, and my goal is to provide ABA therapy for them, which it's fairly expensive. So that's my goal, is to be able to achieve that for them. They have peers who also on the spectrum of autism who have parents that I know and trust who have used ABA therapy, and they say it's a game changer. So that's why I want to achieve that for them. My other why is also helping clients, especially veterans, and I explain that in the Facebook post here. My father was living in Da Nang, Vietnam during the fall of Saigon. My mother lived in Saigon. My father left by helicopter, my mother by boat. It was U.S. soldiers who helped them get in the helicopter and on that boat. They met in Hong Kong, China. If it wasn't for U.S. soldiers, my parents may not have survived, met, and had me, and I wouldn't have what I have today. I might not even exist. Those U.S. soldiers are veterans now. So thank you, vets. I owe you my life. And I literally mean I probably wouldn't be alive because my parents were in other parts of Vietnam when they escaped Vietnam, the Vietnam War, well, the fall of Saigon, and they were rescued by military ships, and they met at a refugee camp in Hong Kong, and that's where they got, they met, fell in love, whatever, and had me. Actually, had me in the United States, but I was born because of that. And again, if I wasn't alive, my kids wouldn't be alive. So basically, I owe them everything, right? So what is a VA home loan? A VA home loan is a mortgage guaranteed by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs and issued by a private lender, such as a bank, credit union, or mortgage company. The reason why I bring this up because I think a lot of people think it's the VA that's actually lending the money or providing the money, and that's simply not the case. They are guaranteeing the loan, and what that means is it says the VA does not finance VA loans; they only guarantee it in case of default, which is why they outline who qualifies based on their requirements and guidelines. Basically, what that means is they vouch for the veteran. They're saying, please allow this veteran to buy this house. Please help them buy this house, and if they were to default, we will guarantee that you'll get 25%, up to 25% equity on the purchase price, right? So they're basically saying they'll owe the lender if the veteran were to default, and that's why they sort of guarantee who, or that's why they sort of outline who they're willing to vouch for, because they're the ones making the offer to vouch for them, right? So again, it's not the VA that lends the money; it's lenders like myself, but it's the VA who is willing to pay the lender if things were to default. Okay, so there's a distinction there I want people to understand. All right, so before I talk about the actual basic of the VA loan, I want to talk about the opportunity, because a lot of you guys are loan officers and real estate agents that are watching. I want to show you why veterans are a great type of client to work for. Okay, number one, millennials and Gen Zs push VA loans to a record in 2021. Millennials and Gen Z veterans accounted for more than half of all VA purchase loans in record year for this historical benefit program, according to National Mortgage News. Gen Z in particular is starting to make its presence felt in markets across the country. And we know in real estate and mortgages, our biggest clients right now, or client base, are millennials, right? And it shows that Gen Zs are growing, okay? Non-veteran millennials struggle while veteran millennials thrive, okay? And despite many non-military millennials having a tough time buying homes, often saddled with student debt and working to save for a down payment, millennials and Gen Z veterans accounted for half of all VA purchase loans in fiscal year 2020, according to Chicago Tribune. So many millennials are stuck on the sidelines because they don't have great credit. They don't have the savings for a down payment. They continue. Younger veterans and service members are really ahead of the curve when it comes to home buying compared with their civilian counterparts. So what I got from that article, or that part of the article, is they're saying that millennials are having a hard time purchasing because of student loan debts, or just debts in general, and having lower credit scores and struggling to get a down payment. Well, the VA doesn't have a credit score requirement, number one. Number two, there's no down payment because it's 0% down. And I would imagine any veteran or any military serviceman or woman who went to school probably used the GI Bill, which means they probably had their education paid for. So they're comparing the two, and they're showing that millennials who are veterans have an easier time buying, right? VA loans outperformed all other loans in 2021. Today, VA loans actually close at a higher rate than conventional mortgages. For all home purchases in June 2021, 70% of VA loans successfully closed, compared to 51% of all mortgages, according to Ellie Mae, a mortgage application software company. Ellie Mae is, I guess they're the ones who created Encompass, which is like one of the, or actually probably the most used loan origination software out there. It's like the Windows or whatever for lenders, right? So they would have the data for sure. And it says, and they're being utilized more often as well. Data from the Department of Veteran shows that number of VA loans went up 8% year over year in 2021, marking the 10th consecutive year of growth. So not only do they close at a higher rate, but it's also growing. Okay. VA loans are more flexible with buying power, and this is probably my favorite part of the VA loan, and why when I first heard about it, I fell in love with it. Okay, the VA loan typically have lower interest rates than conventional mortgages. They allow for higher debt-to-income ratios and lower credit scores, and they don't require private mortgage insurance. If you can qualify, the VA loan is the best program out there. The fact that they have lower interest rates, which means you can use more of your money towards the house instead of paying interest. They don't charge private mortgage insurance, which again, more money reserved for putting it towards the house, and they have lower credit scores. and higher debt ratios. Basically, you can buy more and not be as perfect as the client as you would have to be for, say, a conventional loan, right? So to me, it just meant more buying power for more people, right? So the U.S. military is the largest employer with over 3.1 million employees worldwide. They have over 1.4 million VA loans originated in 2021. Veteran home veteran home ownership exceeds the national average by 20%, which that basically means if you compared veterans to civilians as a demographic, there's a 20% higher chance of the veteran being homeowner. Okay, so veterans in general are just more likely to buy a house, right, or own a home. Military personnel continue to be relocated every 2 to 5 years, and career service members move numerous times, which means repeat purchase business for you realtors out there. Okay, Texas had 1,435,787 veterans residents in 2021, and the number is climbing. Texas also had 34 billion of VA purchases in 2021, and 28.2% of Texan veterans have a service-connected disability. Now, of course, the reason I'm talking about Texas is because I'm based out of Texas, but I'm pretty sure if you look up your statistics for your state, you'll find the same kind of numbers. I know North Carolina with Texas actually allows for some sort of tax benefit if there's a service-connected disability, which is the reason why that number is important, right? All right, so this is the slide that basically made me feel like I had to do these classes every single week, okay? And you'll see as I kind of go over the statistics. Only 24% of qualified veteran homeowners are currently using their VA home loan benefits. So that means out of 100 veterans that owns a house, only 24 of them are using the VA loan. That means the other 60 whatever percent, right? Is it 76% put a down payment towards buying a house. They might be paying extra fees that they shouldn't be, right? So that is a starting statistic, and it kind of upsets me a little bit. Less than 5 years ago, only 12% of veterans were using the VA loan benefit, but it's slowly growing due to the growing awareness among internet savvy veterans. What I mean by that is out of 100 veterans, only 12% of them were actually using the VA loan, which is kind of crazy, okay? Because it's a benefit that allows for veterans to buy a house with no money down, right? But it's starting to grow, hopefully with education information like I'm providing today, right? 33% of veterans that have a mortgage indicated they did not know about the VA program. Now, this is horrible, okay? That 1/3, that means out of 100 veterans, 33 of them didn't even know a VA loan existed, right? So, again, this is what upsets me. Out of every 3 veterans, one of them didn't know that they can buy a house with no money down. Why not? Why did they not know about that, right? And out of 46% of veterans, 46% of them reported their lender had not brought up the VA loan option. Okay, so that means that every veteran that bought a house, out of 100, 46 of them stated that their lender did not even mention the VA loan, right? That means almost half. That means almost half of the loan officer, like me, that worked with a veteran did not even mention the VA loan. Right? So that's horrible. I mean, seriously, like, what are these lenders doing? Okay. So again, this is the hope with my class to help change that statistic. I want to lower that number. Okay. So 3 mandatory questions that you should ask, and this is how you can mention the VA loan. Okay. And when I say mandatory, really you should only have to ask one question, maybe two, and then the rest of them will fall into place if necessary. But I ask every single person, are you or your spouse a veteran? Every single applicant that applies, I ask, are you or your spouse a veteran? Right? And if they say no, no problem, you move on. We're just trying to find out if you qualify for a VA loan. No, no problem. We just move on. Okay. But if you are, well, then I'm going to ask you more questions like, are you entitled to disability from the VA? Do you have your COE or certificate of eligibility? The reason why it's important to ask this question, number one, the statistics show that almost half of loan officers don't even mention the VA loan. Okay. So you need to at least bring that up, especially to a veteran who might not know about it, right? That's the first reason why you should ask this question. The second reason why is because even if the person you're talking to is not a veteran, they might be a surviving spouse, meaning they were married to a veteran, but the veteran had passed away because of service-connected disability, or they might know someone who's a veteran, right? So it's okay to bring awareness to people who are civilians, right? So I think that's the reason why you should ask every person, no matter what, even if you don't think they're a veteran, you should ask them, "Are you a veteran, or are you or your spouse a veteran?" Okay. The benefits of a VA home loan, of course, 100% financing, which should be obvious if you do know about the VA loan. There's no private mortgage insurance. There's no loan cap limit, meaning you can literally buy as much as you want. I mean, this is something that's actually new to me because when I first heard about it, it sounded too good to be true. So I just kind of thought to myself, okay, well, there's probably some sort of catch or whatever. But no, there's literally no catch. If you can qualify, you can buy as much as you want with a VA loan and it'll be 100% financed. That's the point that I'm making here, right? So if you want to buy $1 million house, if you qualify for $1 million house, meaning your mortgage, you can afford the mortgage payments, then the VA will allow you to buy $1 million house with 0% down. Okay. And of course, there's lower interest rates. How to qualify for a VA loan? Well, a veteran is eligible for a VA home loan if he or she is served on active duty in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, or Space Force after September 15th, 1940, and discharged under conditions other than dishonorable after either serving an active duty for a period of 90 days or more, any part which occurred during wartime, or serving on active duty for a period of 181 days for more during peacetime, or serving on active duty under Title 10 or Title 32 orders for a period of 90 days with at least 30 days of being consecutive, or served 6 good years in the National Guard or Reserves with 16 points and received an honorable discharge. I actually have a little chart here to make it easier. So you can see this left chart, basically the era, the time, and the minimum service. And on the right, it's a little bit more general. The one that I want you to kind of look at is the unmarried surviving spouse, right? So basically, if you are a surviving spouse of a veteran or someone who served in the military and they died while on active duty or from service-connected disability, then you are eligible. And actually, I might have to rewrite that. Yeah, I might have to rewrite that because that's kind of confusing. If you remarry after losing a veteran spouse, then you're no longer eligible unless you remarried after the age of 57. That's what it really means. Okay. So let's say your husband, let's say, your wife were to pass away and she was serving, right? And there's a service-connected death and you didn't marry, you are always going to be qualified. Now, if you got married at 56, then you would no longer qualify for that. But if you got remarried at 58, then you would still qualify for that. That's basically what that means. Okay. And I know that's a really small detail, but the reason why it's important is because a lot of people don't even know that they qualify for the VA loan because they were married to a veteran, but they weren't a veteran themselves. So it's something that I think needs awareness, right? All right, certificate of eligibility. This is a document from the VA that confirms your eligibility for a VA home loan. It's obtainable through e-benefits or directly from the lender. The documents you need to obtain a COE is an active duty, statement of service, current orders, active duty veteran DD 214, National Guard NGB 22 and NGB 23, and reserves, statement of service, and point statement. Now, the reason why this is important because the certificate of eligibility is basically your golden ticket, is what they call it, right? It's basically what tells us what you are eligible for in order to get 100% financing, right? So it tells us, what you may have already used in terms of your benefits. As you can see in this example right here, this person has already used, so they have already their retirement charge, right? And it tells us what you have remaining. It also tells us if you're exempt from the funding fee. The reason why you would be exempt from the funding fee is if you have a certain amount of disability. Okay, so there's lots of information here that basically helps us decide what we can do to help you with a VA loan. Okay. Again, if you read right here, it says there's two distinct factors you have to consider when you're qualifying a veteran for a VA loan. They could be eligible and not qualify, but they can also qualify and not be eligible. Okay. Eligibility means what you have in terms of your entitlement. Qualification means from the lender's perspective, do you meet the guidelines, right? So again, you can actually be eligible, meaning you have eligibility, but you don't qualify. But you can also qualify, meaning you can borrow as much as you want, but you don't have any eligibility left, right? So those are two distinct factors. Okay. There's a lot of misconceptions that we're going to address. Number one, you can only have one VA loan at a time. Number two, if you foreclose on a VA loan, you can never have another one. And number three, the VA has a max loan amount. And these are, I would say, not just misconceptions, they're confusing as well. I mean, it took me a little bit of time to figure it out. Okay. So the first one, can I have more than one VA loan at a time? The answer is yes. Okay. It all depends on what you have left in terms of your entitlement. We will calculate the remaining entitlement based off your COE, certificate of eligibility, and determine the max amount with zero down. And the next one, which actually applies here, can I apply for VA loan after a foreclosure? Yes, 2 years waiting period before a veteran can be eligible again. Entitlement from home that was foreclosed on will not be restored. Extenuating circumstances can shorten the wait period to 1 year involving a manual underwriting. That means they're asking you to wait 2 years after foreclosure to try to use the VA loan again. But with extenuating circumstances, we can cut it down to 1 year. Now, they're saying it won't be restored because you have a house foreclosed upon. You've lost that entitlement. You can't use it again unless you pay off the house, which why would you do that, right? So it's not that you cannot buy after foreclosure. It just depends on how much you have left in terms of your entitlement. Now, if you use your full entitlement on the original home that you're foreclosed upon, then yes, sorry, you won't be able to have another VA loan because you have no entitlement left. So it depends. That's why the COE is so important. That's why we call it the golden ticket, right? But because of that, it shows that you can have more than VA loan at a time, right? In fact, and I never tell a story, but I should. I had a lady who actually bought a house with a VA loan. She bought it out of desperation because she didn't want to be homeless. It was what was available. This during the market. It was kind of crazy. Still crazy now. And she bought the house. Well, 2 months later, she found the home of her dreams. It's in the neighborhood she wants. It's exactly what she in terms of size and everything like that. It's exactly what she's looking for, price range, everything, right? So she asked her lender if she could buy this new house with a VA loan, and the guy said no, it's absolutely impossible, and it's considered fraud if you try to get two VA loans because VA loan is designed to buy a primary home to live in. Why would you need two primary homes, right? You already have one. So if you buy a second one, they're going to think that you're buying it as an investment or whatever, which is not allowed with the VA, right? So basically, he said you can't do that, and it's considered fraud. The sad part about it is when she was buying the first house with him, she actually asked to convert the VA loan to a conventional because she knew that there was a chance that she might find another house that she really wanted. And he actually said, no, it's too late, or he wasn't willing to do it. Right. So she was stuck buying it with a VA loan, even though if she wanted to, she could probably just choose another lender and he would have helped her with the VA loan, but that particular lender would not. So she was stuck using the VA loan, and then what she was afraid of happened. She found another house that she wanted, and the lender said it was impossible. Well, she reached out to me, funny enough, because a realtor saw one of these Zoom calls or these stream classes I did and reached out to me, and we were able to get her to buy a second home. When I say second home, I'm not talking about like a vacation home. I'm talking about another home with a VA loan in the same neighborhood, same area within 2 months. How is that possible? Well, we submitted our explanation to the VA, to the regional loan center. We explained to them exactly what happened and why she wants to buy a second house using the VA loan, and they accepted our explanation. So apparently, I did the impossible because I was able to get a veteran to buy two houses using the VA loan in the same area within 2 months, which you have to wait at least a year or something like that, right? That's what most lenders would assume. And when I posted that on Facebook or my social media, I actually had not veterans, lenders reach out to me saying that I'm lying or that it's impossible, or they're questioning was it because of this? Because I was like, no, it's literally what I told you guys. She wanted to buy another house because it was her dream house, and she was forced to buy a VA loan, be a house with a VA loan the first time, and she wants to do it again for her dream house. And we sent it again. We sent it to the VA, and they approved it. I mean, the loan's closed. She's in the house. She actually has 2 houses with a VA loan right now. So, yeah, that proves that you can have 2 VA loans at one time if you can afford it, for sure. But even with the guidelines and rules, there's possible exceptions. Okay. So, how do you restore retirement? Well, things about entitlement is you can have you can use the VA loan more than once. Actually, you use it as many times as you want. Okay, as long as you restore it, right? Full restoration of retirement requires payoff of existing VA loan and transfer of title, right? And then, of course, veteran must obtain the new COE, right? Which, it's funny because I've actually had veterans who provide a COE that showed their old house, even though it had already been sold. And you actually can go in and, like, just any online form, click that, certain things, and she or he clicked that the house was sold, and they actually redid the COE and gave her a new one with full entitlement. So it's actually pretty easy. So yeah, it's very beneficial to know what you're doing when it comes to getting your entitlement. Okay. Um, the funding fee, the way this works is, well, let me explain what the funding fee is. It's the VA's way of uh, trying to uh, pay for the VA loan's willingness to guarantee the loan, right? Um, I wouldn't say that it's a fine to anyone. It's more like, well, we need to make sure we maintain our abilities to keep doing this, because of course there's people that are working to approve loans. There's people who are uh, who are having to manage the VA loans or the request, and of course underwrite the VA loan request. And also there are defaults. Okay, so this is their way of sort of offsetting that, right? Now, the way the funding fee works is if you use it for the first time, it's 2.3% of the loan amount. So in this example, it's a $500,000 loan. 2.3% is 11,500. Now, subsequent use, meaning you're using the VA loan for a second time or third time or whatever, then it's 3.6%. So in this case, 500,000 times 3.6% is 18,000, right? But the funding fee is waived again if you have a service-connected disability of 10% or more, or a Purple Heart recipient. And of course, to be obvious, if you're a surviving spouse, because there's not more disabled than dead, right? So if you have a spouse that died because of a service-connected disability or service-connected connected death, then obviously the funding fee is waived, right? Now, if you are claiming a disability and you filed it prior or before the loan closes, and the claim is awarded after the fact, then the VA will actually refund you your entire funding fee. So it's kind of like a nice little bonus, even if you're not completely finished with the process of getting your disability, status. The moment it happens, if you submit it before you apply for the loan and you get it after the loan's closed, you can still get that funding fee refunded back to you. Okay. All right. So joint loans. This is something that the reason why it's important that we talk about this is because a lot of lenders would probably disagree with you if you talk about this. In fact, I've denied people incorrectly because I didn't know about this, right? But the VA loan is, if you remember the Abraham Lincoln quote, was for the veteran and their family and their children, right? So the VA loan is built for the family. So that's why if you are a veteran and you're trying to buy a VA loan, and you want to have the income of your spouse on the VA loan, you must be married, right? So basically, a veteran and their married spouse, right? So wife and husband, husband and wife, whatever, right? So so veteran and boyfriend or veteran and girlfriend wouldn't work. And I've actually, like I said, I've actually embarrassingly turned people down saying, sorry, you cannot buy with your girlfriend. Sorry, you cannot buy your boyfriend. And I was wrong. Okay. So that's why I made sure this slide was inside my presentation. Joint loans are a loan where you are able to use the VA loan and buy with a non-married buyer, right? It doesn't have to be a girlfriend or boyfriend. It could be a relative, right? It could be your dad, whatever, right? It requires prior authorization from the regional loan center, which is basically the VA, right? And a down payment is required. Now, let me explain what that means. The way the VA is going to look at it is there's really two loans here. That's why I call it joint loan. There's the VA portion, which the veteran is a part of, and there's the non-VA portion, which is the non-married, non-veteran is a part of. Because the VA is willing to guarantee 25% for veterans, what they're expecting is the non-married, non-veteran. Now, the person might be a veteran, but they're not using their time. So just bear with me when I say non-veteran, okay? They're acting as a non-veteran on the loan, okay? So the non-married, non-veteran has to put down their portion of that 25%, which is half, right? Because you have two loans. So basically, the VA wants the loan to be guaranteed by 25%. They're going to cover the half of the 25% for the veteran, and you, as a non-married, non-veteran, has to cover the other half, which is 12.5%. Now, the number's not exactly 12.5%. I think we, as a community, we figured out like more like 14%. That's really, I don't like to do public math, like they don't like to do public math, but just know that you're basically expected to cover half of what would be guaranteed from the VA, and then some, right? So that's why a down payment would be required. Okay. But basically, you're looking at the loan as two different loans, and the veteran has to qualify for their portion, and the non-married, non-veteran has to qualify for their portion. Okay. So a veteran and a fiance who's intending to get married before closing does not get treated as a joint loan. That's considered a normal loan because by the time you sign your closing documents, you are married. Okay. So we'll just originate and pre-approve you as if you are married. You're married by the time you're closing. Okay. But if you're not married, whether you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, or like a relative, or whatever, it is considered a joint loan. Okay. And the income strength of the non-veteran cannot compensate for the weakness of the veteran. So what that means is that you can't have a veteran and a non-veteran, and the veteran have no money, and the non-veteran making all the money. That's not how it's going to work. Okay. The VA expects the veteran to carry their part of the income requirements. So you can have a veteran that makes all the money and have a non-borrower that makes no money and be on the loan. I don't know why you would do that, but you can do that, right? But you cannot do the other way around. You cannot have like, I don't know, an unemployed veteran and let's just call this sugar daddy, right? You can't have you cannot have, and it's bad that I'm saying this because, kind of gets kind of maybe on the line of offensive, right? But let's say you have a veteran who is unemployed and they have a sugar daddy, whether it's male or female, okay? And they want the sugar daddy to join the loan because the sugar daddy makes all the money. That you can't qualify for a joint VA loan, okay? That's not going to work. The veteran themselves have to be able to carry at least half of their side of the qualification, okay? So you can go one way, but not the other, okay? All right, so VA loan products, there's a traditional mortgage. It's a 30, 20, or 15 year. There's cash out refinances, which you can pull 100% of your home's equity. Pricing is traditionally higher, over 90% loan to value, meaning like if you're borrowing 90% of your equity, anything over 90% is going to be a little bit more expensive, okay? IRRRL, IRRRL, and people in the veteran community, they're really picky about this. Don't call it an IRRL, it's an IRRL. And if you actually know what it stands for, it makes sense. It's an interest rate reduction refinance loan. Again, interest rate reduction refinance loan. So there's 3 R's in there, okay? And there's also streamlined refinances. It's a streamlined refinance. There's limited documentation, no appraisals required. So it's very popular because you can basically reduce your rate with minimal effort in terms of the actual loan process, okay? And there's VA renovation loans, similar to the FHA 203K. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but there's a renovation loan for FHA loans. It allows the borrower to finance purchase price in the home repairs. You must have documentation provided by a licensed contractor, and the interest rate is traditionally higher with this product, which should kind of make sense, right? So there's several loan products, and there's probably more that I'm not talking about, but there's several loan products out there that you can use with the VA. Okay, so this is the part that I actually want to rehearse because I haven't really done this part. So bear with me if it's kind of shaky because it's like one of the first few times I'm doing this. But I'm gonna take a quick drink here. I'll actually pause for any questions if anyone has any. You can unmute or you can comment or whatever. And I don't know if I'm going to be reading this or having you look at me in the face while I'm doing this. I'm still kind of working on it, but I'm going to go ahead and leave on the screen because it's easier for me to read, number one. Number two, I don't mind you guys looking at it to maybe give me feedback if you see typos, you don't like the way it sounds, or if it sounds too repetitive or too salesy or whatever. Okay. All right. So why work with a certified veteran mortgage advisor? Okay, let me start over. Why work with a certified veteran mortgage advisor like myself? Well, number one, I invested time, money, and energy to become certified. I'm very proud and take it very seriously. It's my designation on my name and my official title. What I mean by that is you'll see Larry Lee, comma, VMA, right? And I actually don't call myself a loan officer. I call myself a certified veteran mortgage advisor. Okay. And that's legit. I actually had it approved by compliance with my mortgage company. Okay. So they recognize the certification. All right, I teach VA loan classes on a weekly basis because I'm that passionate about helping veterans in our real estate community become more aware of how important it is for us to be educated and utilize the VA loan. I even teach other loan officers, who is my competition, because they help a single veteran using the knowledge I gave them. I did my job. And I literally mean that there's loan officers who follow me, who watch my videos, who get my information, who are literally in the same market as I am. And I don't mind because if they help a veteran using my knowledge that I gave them, I did my job. That's the way I look at it. Okay. Out of all VA appraisals that did not meet value, only 1% were submitted for an ROV, a reconsideration of value, which is it's a process that is part of the VA that a lot of loan officers don't know about. Okay. But basically, if a appraisal didn't meet the purchase price value, then of course something needs to happen. We need to reprice the house, meaning a negotiation, or get comps or something, because we can't finance a home if it doesn't make the appraised value. Well, the first process is Tidewater. Is it Tidewater? Yeah, Tidewater, where they actually try to give us time to find comps to justify the price. But if that doesn't work, then we can do a reconsideration of value where we actually write directly to the VA. The actual veteran would actually write to the VA explaining why they think that there should be a reconsideration of value, which basically means they're asking to ignore or supersede the appraisal, right? You can't do that with any other loan. You cannot do that with a conventional loan or FHA loan or USDA loan. Those appraisals stick. Whereas in this case, you're asking the VA to ignore or don't take the number as the value of the home and to look at our value. And sometimes they actually will adjust it. Like they'll, okay, well, you know what? We can't give you 100% of the difference, but we can give you maybe 50% of the difference or 10. So you're off by 10,000. Well, we'll give you an extra 5,000. We can see that, right? So it helps, right? But the point is, only 1% of them were actually submitted for ROV. That means if there was 100 appraisals that didn't make it on the VA loan, only one of them were submitted for a reconsideration of value, and I say 50% rate. I mean, of course, there wasn't one. There's probably two, right? At least. So if there's two, at least one of them actually achieved something, right? So that means that $100 only one tried to fight the appraisal. I'll be that one.
that'll be me. Okay. More than half of lenders don't even ask for a certificate of eligibility when speaking to a veteran buyer. I make it the first thing we do, right? I talk about it. I'm like, do you have a COE? Do you have it right now? We can request it for you instantly. Like if you're waiting for the COE from the VA and it's taking a while, we can get it pretty much right away, right? But more than half the lenders don't even ask for the COE, right? So that's a problem because I mean, if you're looking for a VA loan and there's no eligibility, then what are we doing? So that's something that I was trained and actually expected to do as a certified veteran mortgage advisor is always ask for the COE. Okay. Almost half of lenders don't even mention the VA loan to veterans. Like I said in my statistics, right? I ask all applicants, all. I don't care who you are. I ask all applicants if they're a veteran, so that I can mention the VA loan, right? If I ask them if they're a veteran and they go, no, I'm not a veteran, okay, no problem. We don't that we're done with that, right? But if they say they are a veteran, then I get to talk about the VA loan. And if 33% of veterans didn't know that a VA loan existed, I might be surprising someone that day. I might become their best friend by telling them, oh, well, actually, I don't know if you knew this, but you can buy a house with no money down because you're a veteran. Right? Of course, if you qualify, right? But again, almost half of lenders don't even mention the VA loan to veterans, and I ask all applicants. Okay. I did not charge a 1% fee on the VA loan like a lot of veteran friendly lenders are. I used the collective method, okay, which charges a flat fee for all VA loans, actually for all loans, not just VA loans, but we're talking about VA loans right now. This allows for the veteran to pay for other fees if necessary, like pest inspections, so that the seller and other parties do not have to worry about it. And I know that sounds weird. Like, why would you do that to me? Why would you make it so I have to pay for the pest inspection? Well, the pest inspections are like $150. Okay. If the pest inspection is $150, why am I charging you 1% on a $400,000 loan? That's $4,000. I charge under $1,500. Just so you know, a flat fee of $1,500. Why would I need to charge you 1% on a $400,000 loan, which is $4,000, when I would rather pay you charge you $1,500 and let you pay $150 for the pest inspection, right? I mean, let's just do the math here, right? If you're buying a $400,000 loan, I'm charging you 1%, but I really charge everyone else $1,500. What am I doing with the extra $2,500, right? So I guess it depends on the loan size, but a lot of you guys are getting ripped off if you're getting charged 1%. Just so you know, okay? Not to talk trash about anyone else, but do the math. Look at your paperwork. Look at your loan estimate. If they charge you 1%, 1% of what? The entire loan amount? Why? I charge literally like $1,300, $1,400. That's for underwriting processing. Okay. And thanks for Nathan. I think he said 50 minutes of VA loan info. Amazing. I appreciate it. I'm trying to cut it shorter, but I'm talking slow. And I have a lot of information I'm trying to cut through, right? All right. So next one. I insist on writing a letter accompanying the VA loan offer to explain my credentials, how well qualified the veteran is based on their pre-approval, and also insist on calling the listing agent to introduce myself and show why they should accept our VA loan offer. I will literally fight for the veteran to get into the home they want to be in. So what I mean by that is I'll actually write a letter introducing myself to the agent that they're making an offer to, explaining who I am, what the certification means, and why this veteran is well qualified for the house. And then I'll call the listing agent and talk to them. I've actually heard and found that most listing agents don't get a call from any lender. Okay. So I'll do that, and that itself will probably make you stand out as an offer, right? But not just that, I'll actually will sell you if I have to, and why they should take your offer. Okay. I know how to structure offers with real estate agents that can help lower closing costs, lower interest rates, and even result on veterans bringing absolutely nothing to the closing table. What I mean by that is I actually will talk to real estate agents about making offers for our veteran client on how we can try to get it so that they don't have to bring anything to the table and they can get stuff paid for on their end, like their interest rates. Discount points, right? So basically, you can lower your interest rates if you can get some seller concessions, okay? If possible, I will have my team do a fully underwritten TBD pre-approval where we underwrite the application to the full extent without having a property. Basically, we do the work as if you have a contract before you have the contract. I don't know why we don't do this. Lenders don't do this. It will save a lot of time, but it's probably because they're afraid that they're going to do a lot of work and not get anything in return because there's no guarantee that the person's actually going to buy a house or they actually will use them, right? So you're putting a lot of sweat equity in the beginning, right? And involving underwriters is a big deal, okay? Because there's not very many underwriters available to do things like this, but we do. Okay, we're overstaffed for this purpose. Okay, so we'll actually underwrite you without a contract so that when you make the offer, it will say you're fully underwritten. The conditional approval is on the home, or the conditions are on the home and the appraisal. So basically, we can close in half the time. Okay. It makes it so that we have, again, faster closing times and there's a lot more confidence and peace of mind for everyone involved, including yourself as the veteran buyer. Okay. We call this the power play. So, like how veterans are trained to be prepared to serve and protect our country, we will provide the same effort to them, the veterans, and protect their loan. Okay. The Certified Veteran Mortgage Advisor Committee, managed by the Veteran Lending Council, is a national network and a brain trust of like-minded individuals with one mission: to serve the veteran community at the highest level. What that means is that my VMA committee will not allow me to mess up a VA loan, let alone to do any disservice to a veteran. So accountability is guaranteed. Basically, because I'm a part of this community, because I'm a certified veteran mortgage advisor, I'm expected to do my very best for veterans and not screw up. Because of that accountability, I can't allow myself to mess up a VA loan, right? Whereas other lenders might be like, whatever. I'm gonna just put it together. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, there's no accountability. Like if they pre-qualify, pre-approve someone and they end up getting denied, they're like, whatever. That would be really bad for me on a VA loan because I have people watching and people to meet in terms of their expectations. And I have a certification. I don't want that taken away. So because of that, I'm accountable. Also, and this is just me, not really the veteran mortgage advisor community, but it's me. I offer the opportunity to have all my clients save $500 towards closing costs, and the requirement is to take a simple home buying quiz that will help you pass if you need it. If you're interested in learning more, just let me know. Okay. But last but not least, I care. Like I actually care. I mean, of course, me saying that means nothing. You have to take my word for it. There's no evidence to show, but I mean, you see that I'm teaching these classes every single week. I actually write a whole explanation, a presentation about it. I'm constantly branding myself. I put VMA in my name. I mean, I really care. I'm taking this seriously. This is like my livelihood. This is my persona, whatever you want to call it, my brand, whatever you call it, right? So I care about being a certified veteran mortgage advisor. It's important to me, right? I've never cared about anything more than this, well, except for my wife and kids, of course. But that I think that, from my perspective, should at least show that I actually want to help veterans. Okay. All right. So, any questions? And I think that actually met the 1 hour mark, which actually scares me because my actual presentation is longer than this one. All right, cool. So the VA loan, the VA home loan, is a loan other buyers can only dream of obtaining. You've earned this right by serving our great nation, and it's my job to facilitate your dream of homeownership. Thank you for your service. And if you want to follow me, sign up for the class. I put the link in the description, whatever. I will, in the future, do classes regarding myths about the VA loan, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of bad information about the VA loan out there. I plan to dispel them. I've already done this several times. So if you are ready to find out about these, you can always Google or YouTube me, Home Buyer Secrets or Larry the Mortgage Guy, whatever, and you'll probably find me addressing these myths. But in the future, I'll be doing this again, and I hope to just do a better job every single time I do it. But every other week, actually, it might be every week soon because my kids are going back to school. I'll be addressing these myths one at a time. Okay, I'll go deep on each myth. Okay. If you want more information about me, again, Larry Lee, 832-606-2193, Larry Lee at openmortgage.com. You can go to larrylee.com for my more relaxed, casual Linktree type profile. Or if you want my serious version, which is the one I send my clients, you can go to Linktree, so linktr.ee/Larry Lee, and you'll find my professional version of my Linktree. Or you can Google Larry the Mortgage Guy, you'll probably find me. I definitely make sure that happens when you type Larry the Mortgage Guy. You'll find me in there. Yeah, look me up and reach out if you have any questions. Of course, my goal is to provide this kind of information without you having to reach out to me. So you can consume all my content, get all the knowledge you want with never talking to me, and that's fine. You can do that just by, again, Googling me. But if you do want one-on-one coaching, right, you got to reach out to me, okay? If there's no other questions, I'll let you guys go. And I really appreciate you guys being here. This is Larry, the Mortgage Guy, your mortgage insider and certified veteran mortgage advisor. Thanks, guys. See you later.